Hey guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be. Good to see you here. Thank you for joining us. As you come in, please let us know where you're coming in from. Say hello, and whoever's channel you're watching on, please give us a like, and that'll help us get more people into the chat. Bob, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, Dave, considering how hot and humid it's been. I actually managed to sweat through it. The problem that I had today, because it was the day I needed to cut my grass, but I've got the battery for my mower charging again to finish up. It's going to take me 5 minutes to finish it up, but it rained 3 days ago, but it's been so humid, the grass did not dry out, so it was really wet and heavy. So my mower ran out of battery power before I got it done. So I've got it on the charger, and after the live stream, I'll take 5 minutes and go out and finish the front yard because it takes a lot of extra battery power when the grass is that wet and heavy, and it hasn't dried out any. It's been so humid.
So Japan has a solution for you. Replace the grass with concrete, and that'll solve your problem.
Yeah,
That's yeah. I don't have a garden. It's great.
yeah, and all the way back in high school, there was a friend of mine. His dad owned rental properties, and he decided he was tired of running around to all of his rental properties cutting the grass. So he put in AstroTurf at one of his properties. And one of the neighbors sued him. And after he won the lawsuit, because they were saying that it was unsightly or whatever, because he then had permission to put AstroTurf in, he went back and took a page out of Boise State's football field, and he put bright blue AstroTurf on all of his properties.
Oh, wow.
As kind of a screw you to the neighbors.
Oh, wow. So speaking of that, I remember one of the last times I was back in Melbourne visiting my parents when they still lived there. When we pulled up in front of their house, I'm like, oh, wow, that grass looks perfect. And in Melbourne is a drought city, right? So you're not allowed to water your grass. You're not allowed to do anything there, right? And so I'm looking at all these brown gardens around it and thinking, why is their garden so perfect? Are they breaking the rules? Turns out it was AstroTurf. It was like the stuff that basically looks like it's in the freezer or the fridge in the supermarket.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, that's why most of my brother's friends that have places in the desert, they either have rocks for their front yard or they have AstroTurf because trying to grow grass is impossible.
Yeah, it's a kind of one of those. It's almost like this European thing that when you don't have water, it's just like it's an impracticality, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, we've got a lot of people coming in. Thanks, guys, for letting us for saying hello and letting us know where you're coming from. And we have our first question. So, guys, if you've got a question, please put a Q in front of it. Let us know so that'll be easy to find. Also, if you've got a discussion point you want us to get to, we'll do that too. So, John asks, how often do you eat organ meat? I eat liver once a week. How about you, Bob?
Well, if I ever eat organ meat, I'll let you know.
Okay. Yeah. I think anything more than like once a week or once a month or something ends up being too much, right? Isn't that one of the problems that Paul Saladino had? He was eating too much of it.
Yeah. Well, the way I understand it, if you think about you yourself, by yourself, you go out and butcher a cow. If you decide you want to eat organ meat on a regular basis, based on how much meat is in that cow, you're only going to get a very little tiny bit if you're going to have organ meat every day. And that's about the correct ratio as I understand it. Now, you know, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionist, I'm just an old retired truck driver. But it makes sense that if you're going to go out and kill an animal to feed yourself for however long it is, you're only going to get a certain amount of organ meat in proportion to all of the other stuff you get to eat, mainly the muscle meat and the fat associated with it.
I started my TJ Riley. I started my dog on Carnivore this week. He is doing well. Oh, that's awesome. And I guess that's your dog in the picture there. Nice. Okay, we've got a question. Why would anyone want to eat liver? It's the cesspool of the body and it absorbs all the poison. I never thought that logical. It's got lots of vitamins in there, though. Liver tastes pretty good. Actually, I think it's an acquired taste, but it tastes pretty good.
Well, the liver doesn't, as far as I understand. Again, I'm not a truck driver. I'm just a truck driver. I'm not a doctor. I don't play one on TV. But as I understand it, that's a big misconception about the liver. It doesn't actually absorb poisons. It filters them and sends them on to other places. Liver is very nutrient dense, but you don't necessarily have to eat it because, well, I haven't, and I seem to be doing okay. But I may be getting a little bit of organ meat because I buy the cheapest ground beef available. And a lot of times when they have some stuff left over, they just kind of throw it into the big vat to make the big cheap ground beef, the cheap ground beef. So I probably am getting a little bit of organ meat in there, but not enough to taste.
Papa Carnivore says, I had some Braunschweiger, am I pronouncing that correctly, with my meat today for lunch. What's Braunschweiger? I
think he means Braunschweiger, which is like a liver thing, I think.
Okay.
It's one of those yucky things that my dad and mom both liked a lot and could never get the kids to try.
Okay. Okay, we got some questions. Lexus Jones, do you guys strength train? If so, any clean carnivore pre-workout subs you would recommend? I don't do anything, and I can't recommend any pre-workout supplements. How about you, Bob?
I work out by walking, by cutting the grass, and well, I do have sitting down here next to me. But my workout supplement is my one meal a day. I eat beef, I eat eggs, I eat fat, I eat salt. Yeah, if you're strength training seriously, I would go check out Jonathan's channel. It's called Carnivore Muscle, and he might be able to put you on the right path. But for the amount of stuff I do, I see no reason to do any of that kind of stuff. And, you know, I don't know that, you know, Dr. Baker, one of the biggest man full of muscles in the carnivore space, I think he just eats ribeyes. That's his pre-workout and his post-workout is ribeye.
John, have you ever eaten brains? No, couldn't do that. No.
Not that I know of. It may have been snuck into some of my cheap ground beef, but I've never intentionally eaten any of that.
Yeah, I'd be the same. The only way you'd ever get me to eat brains, I think, would be if it was ground up with other meat. Yeah. Okay. And Meathead is just replying to Lexus there. Longevity and strength comes from the legs. Oh, interesting. And a follow-up to that, Way We Move has videos explaining it. Okay. So do we have any questions here? Yes, we do. All right. From Carnivore Violin Learner. When I eat butter cold, I am fine, but melted, I run to the bathroom with diarrhea. I don't know why. Yeah, I think Steak and Butter Gal's channel has a lot of videos explaining this. But yeah, I think the hot rendered fat tends to be a little bit worse. It goes through you more quickly. Like if you've cooked ground beef, the hot fat that runs off that can also be a trigger for people. Have you noticed anything with that, Bob?
Not personally, but I have heard that from other people that if you're having problems when you eat a ribeye or ground beef or whatever, try cutting back on the fat in your meat and adding some cold butter, because for whatever reason cold fats don't run through you quite as quickly.
So AIDS, greetings and good health to you all from the Ponderosa in Outback, Australia. G'day, Aid. Thanks for joining us.
Glad you're here, Aid.
Okay. Hi, Bob and Dave. My mum used to treat herself to liver and onion. Always made me gag, even the smell of it. Yeah, it's got a very distinctive smell. I remember 30 odd years ago when I was living in London, calf's liver and onion was a really popular menu item in restaurants. So I ate it a lot there, but it's often dark in restaurants, so you can't really see what you're eating anyway. So that helps.
Yeah, I have never been a fan of liver anyway. I mean, all the time growing up and through my 20s and 30s, I would get the same thing from multiple different people. They would all say, "Oh, the only reason you don't like liver and onions is because you've never had it the way I make it." It all freaking tastes the same. It all tastes like liver and onions, and it's all crap.
It's definitely an acquired taste because liver, when you eat liver, it's almost like my feeling about it is it's almost like a powdery texture when you chew into it. It's a little bit odd, but once you get used to it, it's okay. But I guess that would be like talking about brains as well. You know, there's probably people that eat brains that say once you get used to it, it's fine. Coach Lisa said from Lexus. Coach Lisa said soul water would work. Have you guys tried that? How did you feel after? I'm not sure what it is, so I guess I haven't tried it. Bob, have you ever tried that?
I have not. I sort of know what it is because Dante Ferrigno was making that way back when he first started Carnivore. And it's basically you take a big chunk of rock salt and you throw it into water. And when the water has absorbed as much salt as it can, you drink it. But I've never tried it. I have no experience with that. If I want some salt, I just eat a little salt.
DS111 question: do you eat brains? Answer: no, I'm not a savage.
Or a zombie.
Aid says, note, lambs and goat's brains are awesome, especially fried in tallow or bacon grease. It's nutrient-dense superfood. Don't be afraid. Yeah, I think, again, I think I could do it, but only if it's ground up with other stuff. You know, like you've talked, Aid, about how, you know, you make your ground beef, like it's, you know, some part brain, some part liver, some part, you know. I think I could do it like that because then I'm not thinking about what I'm eating. Okay. Wow, everyone's talking about brains.
Welcome to Zombie Hour. Brains.
No one's got a question. Everyone's talking about brains, but no one's got a question. So if you've got a question or a discussion point for us, please put a Q in front of it and I'll get to it. So I've been having a think about things, Bob, and one of one of the things I've been considering is how when you have the typical kind of researcher, the typical doctor, the typical scientist, um, and I saw this specifically with Lane Norton recently on X. They always they deny reality because they don't have a study that tells them that it's real. Like I just noticed recently, like Lane Norton's posts are getting more and more kind of I don't know, aggressive or assertive in talking about how everything is BS unless there's a study saying that that it's a thing. And it just seems very strange to me that there's a massive amount of people out there that can deny reality, deny what's happening in front of their faces because it's not written down on a piece of paper that's been peer reviewed. It seems odd.
Yeah, well, my thoughts on that is that not specifically him, but people like him, they cannot believe that they spent all those years in school to get their degree only to discover everything they learned is false because there are no studies about any hard health outcomes in human nutrition. Because to get an actual hard health outcome, you have to control the study, which means locking people in a lab so that you physically can see what they're eating. And the only types of those studies that are out there are between 2 weeks and a month long. Well, as everybody watching this currently knows, it takes longer than 2 to 4 weeks for your body to adapt to a new diet. So, are you really learning anything by locking somebody in a lab for 2 or 3 or 4 weeks and changing their diet when all you're really going to get is the transition results, not the end results? So, there are no studies to back up anything in the nutrition field. But what we do have is you've done what now? 1,200 interviews, Dave? Has any one of those people come on and said, "Oh, I tried carnivore and I never felt better. In fact, I got worse"?
No, and no one's ever come on and said, I was doing okay, but I wanted to give carnivore a try. So I tried it out for a month, and now I have type 2 diabetes. Like, things like that never happen.
Yeah, it doesn't happen. So while all of our N=1 experiments put together don't actually make real science, they are just as valid and informing as any other nutritional study that's out there because, like the Harvard health study that claimed, red meat causes diabetes. Well, when you dig into that study, you discover that pizza was considered red meat, and going to McDonald's for a hamburger, fries, and a soft drink was considered a red meat meal.
Yeah. So I think that actual study, I guess that was a couple of years ago now, right? That study is what made me realize that it's you can make anything say anything. You just have to withhold the right information,
Yeah, I forget who said it. A slight language alert here before I continue. Sorry about this. But somebody famously said there are 3 types of lies. There's lies, there's damn lies, and there's statistics.
Yeah. Yeah. Why not try brains? For me, it's
Why?
just the thought. It's just the image, you know. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
if I saw
very.
them in the store and they were cheap enough, I might try them. But number one, I've never seen them in the grocery store. And anytime I don't like liver, or I would buy it because liver is dirt cheap. But any of the other so called exotic foods, really expensive.
Mm-mm. G'day, Alan. So Alan's got a question. Extended fasting. Please share your experiences. What are your experiences with extended fasting, Bob?
I don't do it. The only times I've ever fasted for more than one day is when I was sick. And the best way to get over being sick is to not eat. Um, and I've done that, 3 or 4 times in the last 3 years where I've gone a second or even a third day without eating. But for the most part, I don't really feel the need to fast because
Mm,
the all of the things that you hear people talking about there about protein sparing modified fasting or any of the other things. Well, carnivore and keto are already fasting mimicking diets because they put your body in a state of ketosis. So you don't
mm,
really need to fast. Now, am I against other people fasting? Not at all. If you want to fast, go right ahead. It's very good for you. It's not going to hurt you, but it's just not something I do.
mm, mm. For me, the longest fast I've done is about 4 days, and I felt great. I mean, the first day, I feel like you get a bit of a rumbly tummy, and it's a feeling like, okay, you need to eat now, right? But as long as you don't go, okay, well, I've got to eat, um, that goes away. And yeah, 4 days, I felt pretty good, but I was also at the 4 day mark, I was ready. My body was really saying, okay, you should eat something now. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I just broke it. But I guess if I'd really wanted to, I could probably pretty easily have kept going. Um, and I think that's one of the things that you learn on carnivore, whether it's you just end up eating less meals in a day or you get into extended fasting, is you don't constantly have to have food in front of your face.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was talking with a guest the other day about how um, when you're on carnivore, you start to notice that you'll see some people and they never have food out of their hands, or quote unquote food out of their hands. They've always got something there. It's like it's almost a part of their body or part of their personality. They have to have something with them all the time,
Mm-hmm.
which is pretty scary,
Yeah.
but also explains why we're at the state we are health-wise globally. Um, okay, Papa Carnivore. Dave and or Bob, have either of you or both had any recent health improvements that you can tell us about? Nothing for me. I'm just kind of motoring along. How about you, Bob?
Yeah. No, I haven't really noticed anything different. I'm still just motoring right along because, of course, both Dave and I are 3 years plus into our journeys. And, I'm sure something is going on that's for the better, but it's not anything I notice. Um, I have been for the last basically 2 years trying to get more flexibility into my knees so I can get up and down off the ground, and that's getting better and closer. But I wouldn't really call that a health improvement.
Hmm. Okay. Anthony Sharp. It seems counterintuitive to increase the fat when you're trying to lose fat. Wouldn't it be better just to have leaner meat? No, no. The reason it's counterintuitive is because we've all been programmed from when we were kids to believe that fat makes you fat and low fat is good for you, and all of this kind of stuff, right? But the reality is that your body runs better on ketones, and when you're eating, the higher the fat you eat, assuming you're cutting out carbs, the more likely it is you're going to be in ketosis, and the stronger level of ketosis you're probably going to be in as well. So yeah, it seems counterintuitive, but that's only because of programming. It's counterintuitive for people who are listening to the people who make money from them for believing that.
Yeah, and the other thing on that is your body needs a certain amount of fat. And if you're eating low fat, lean meat, your body is reluctant to get rid of its stored fat because it might need it for a rainy day. But if you're constantly pumping more fat into your system as you eat, your body goes, oh, well, we got plenty of fat coming in, so this little pocket of stored fat over here can go, and this little pocket of stored fat over here can go, and it actually stimulates fat burning.
And I feel like I'm a case study of why fat is so important. Saturated fat is so important for nervous system repair, because it helps repair the myelin sheath, to get those messages from your brain to where they need to go. Okay. What is tripe? Is that brains or the stomach lining of a cow?
I don't know. Here, let me. While you talk, I'll hit the Google thing here and see what it says. It says edible lining of stomachs of ruminant animals such as cows, sheep, and goats.
Okay. And also figuratively in British English, or it might just be Scottish English, I'm not sure, but figuratively tripe means, you're speaking garbage. That's a lot of tripe. So Tony, recommendations on what to eat for someone who's had bariatric surgery, who's diabetic. As much, fatty red meat. I've interviewed a lot of people who've had bariatric surgery, and I've interviewed a lot of people who are, well, we should clarify as well, type 1 or type 2 diabetic, but either way, you're probably going to do better with fatty red meat. So yeah, there's a lot of interviews with people who have had both that do well.
Yeah. And now, because you've had the bariatric surgery, you're probably never going to be able to eat enough on one meal a day. So you're probably always going to have to do 2 or 3 meals a day. And that's perfectly fine. You're still going to see improvements. I hate to always use him as an example, but if you look at Rick over at Charger Mopar's channel, he eats 3 times a day and has for 41 years. And he eats a lot. I mean, he eats between 1.5 and 2 pounds of meat 3 times a day. And he's still skinny as a rail. Now, granted, he has a very active lifestyle, but you can still do carnivore with your bariatric surgery. You just have to understand that you're probably not going to be able to eat as much as your body needs in one sitting.
Paul, have settled into 12 eggs a week. How many are you and others eating? I probably average about 6 a day. How about you, Bob?
Yeah, it still varies. I have started buying eggs again finally, because they've come back down to the price where a dozen eggs is cheaper than a pound of ground beef. So I eat about a pound of ground beef, and depending on how hungry I am, somewhere between 6 and 10 eggs a day to go with it.
Okay, where am I? I've lost my place. Oh, here we go. All right, from Tom and Nina. 15-month carnivore, 70 years, 0 CAC, but I have an ascending aortic aneurysm that has decreased from 4 to 3.8 centimeters. Woohoo. Congratulations, Tom. That's awesome.
Yes. Yep. Just keep at it, and hopefully it shrinks a little bit more. Because
that's considering that was such a big aneurysm. That's a significant drop. Wow.
yes.
Yeah. Congratulations. That's great. Okay, John. Do you guys ever cold plunge? No.
Yes. Well, I was doing it for quite some time. I don't actually have a cold plunge, but a couple of times a week, I still take a cold shower to get my cold plunge in. And then, of course, all winter long, I live in Omaha, Nebraska. Stepping outside between the middle of November and the 1st of March is a cold plunge all by itself.
Right. Okay. Aid's heading off. I wish you all good health and prosperity. Cheers with sparkling water. Cheers, Aid.
Have a good day, Aid.
Okay. Diet Rebel Scum. I am a long-term marathon runner and carnivore. Coffee is my last dietary vice. Have you seen carnivore people improve athletic performance quitting caffeine? It's my last dietary vice as well. I haven't seen anyone's athletic performance, but so I don't know. But Dr. Chafee does say that, that last 5%, like giving up the coffee and whatever, makes a lot of difference. But I don't know. Bob, how about you?
Yeah, all I can say is give it a try and see, quit coffee for 60 days or so and see if you feel any better, see if you run any better. And if you don't notice a difference in your running, I see no reason. The thing that I always tell people is that when you have switched to carnivore, you've probably already given up so much and changed so much. While coffee is not carnivore and it's not good for you, if you're drinking it black or with butter in it, I see no reason physiologically why you should give it up, unless, like in your case, being a longtime marathon runner, it's probably worth doing the experiment to see.
Okay. CB Genesis. Do you guys eat many organs? We kind of started today by talking about this. For me, it's just liver once a week, and yeah, Bob, as you mentioned, Bob, I think it's if you are, it's only accidental, right?
Yeah. If I ever intentionally eat an organ, I will let everybody know. But I don't see that happening anytime in the near future.
Question: do you play the organ? Okay, FX Trader. Dave, the Japanese seem to eat ramen noodles all the time. Is that unhealthy? Yes, it's very unhealthy. There's a difference, though, and why it's not as unhealthy in Japan as it would be in Australia, Canada, America. And that is, they eat the ramen noodles, but then they're not following it up by eating a pizza and 5 hamburgers and a soda, right? So, like, if you look at the typical salary man in Japan, the typical business person, right? When they go out for lunch, they don't go out for lunch as a kind of a social thing, and a big extended 1 hour lunch and all that kind of thing, right? If someone goes out of the office to have lunch, they'll go to a ramen restaurant, they'll order their ramen, and they'll down that ramen in like 5 minutes, and then they're back to the office to work, right? And while they're having that ramen, they'll drink a cold tea. And that's it. Like, they won't sit there and savor it with an ice cream for dessert and all that kind of thing, right? So the difference is, the dose is the poison kind of thing. That's the difference. In Japan, it's just like functional, eat, done, back to work, or back to whatever social activity I was doing. It's not like this event that goes for an hour, 2 hours, and includes lots of other stuff. So I think that's where the difference is. And of course, it's balanced with a whole lot of other not processed things. Like, then for dinner, we might have fish and vegetables and all that kind of thing. That said, Japan is getting unhealthier, but it's just not at the same rate as Western countries, because culturally they don't gorge the same way we do. Okay, Brooke, how you doing, Brooke? Has anyone tried krill? I ate a whole tin the other day before I read the label and realized it has 4 carbs for the whole tin. I'm not even sure what krill is.
I I don't know either, but if you like it, and those 4 carbs are the only carbs on any kind of a label that you see in a day's time, I wouldn't worry too much about it, because 4 carbs is still pretty doggone low. Now, if you're going to sit down and eat 10 tins of krill, that would end up being 40 carbs, then you might want to think about that. But I don't even know what krill is, so that's about the only comment I have on that.
Okay, from Paul. In case I have not said it, my 10-year-old grandson finished third in the USA national competition back in July 6th. Oh, congratulations to your grandson. That's awesome.
Yes.
Questions? Any questions? No questions? Okay. Oh my goodness. I've just seen a comment there from Papa Carnivore. You can buy pork brains in a can. Oh my goodness. I think the name of the brand is called Rose or Roses. Oh, okay. So thank you for telling me the brand name I need to avoid. Oh my goodness.
I mean, I don't even think I want to eat brains if it's fresh right out of the skull. I can't imagine, because I've bought meats in a can before, and spam's not too bad, but usually meat in a can is something pretty gross.
I just can't imagine. You're on a picnic. I've got some canned brains here, guys. You wanna partake in this? G'day, Mandy. How you doing? Okay, Jill. I just had blood work done and my cholesterol was 359. Should I be concerned? It needs to be taken in context with everything else on your blood work and how you're feeling, I think. And just to preface it, we're not doctors, yeah, but my cholesterol is high like that as well. But all of my other metabolic markers are good. So for me, I personally don't worry about it. What do you think, Bob?
Well, the bottom line answer is no. You shouldn't be concerned, because contrary to popular belief, and again, this is one of those things that's been pounded out there through all of the fake science that we've had over the last 40 years. Cholesterol is not causal in any known metabolic dysfunction. Cholesterol does not cause heart disease. It does not cause atherosclerotic plaques. It just doesn't. There's no proof anywhere in the literature that it does that. And in fact, I fell 2 Januaries ago while I was out on trail. And the thing I was talking about at that time was Dr. Barry was first covering the study that Professor K puts up a lot, whereas it's basically a meta-analysis of meta-analysis, and it's from the World Health Organization and the British Heart Foundation, and they plotted total cholesterol versus all-cause mortality. And the interesting thing is that as you got lower than 220 millimoles per deciliter, all-cause mortality went way up. So you don't really, I wouldn't be concerned about it.
Cod liver oil versus butter.
Butter.
I've never had cod liver oil, so I'm going to go with butter. Yeah.
Yeah, butter. Any oil, even cod liver oil, oxidizes very quickly.
Right. So Brooke has a question. Krill is a whale's main food.
Yeah, I looked it up. It's a little tiny crustacean, which is some kind of, but other than that, I don't know. I mean, and if, like I said, Brooke, if you like it, I see nothing wrong with eating it on occasion or even every day. 1/10 of it is only 4 carbs. But yeah, if 4 carbs a day is your total for listed carbs for the entire day, you're doing better than about 90% of the country, 90% of the world.
Yeah.
Maybe even 95% of the world.
Yeah. Recovering foodie. Living in Japan, Dave, have you had beef tendon? I hear it's an acquired taste. I had it once in, speaking of ramen, I had it once in a bowl of ramen, but it was, yeah, it's not my thing because it's chewy. Yeah, I like when I'm biting into food, I don't like to I don't like having to like it's a piece of string and kind of razor my teeth against it to make it into a smaller piece, like I just want to chew my food and swallow. So not crazy about this kind of stuff. Dave and Bob, do you think vegans root for the impala to get away from the lions hunting them? That's a good question. Yeah. I wonder if they sit there watching, African safari kind of documentaries, and going, come on, you can do it.
I always wonder if, because, when we grill a steak or your neighbor's grilling something in the backyard and that smell wafts over and it makes you hungry, I wonder if that's what vegans experience when I go out and cut my grass.
So, the only thing that is irritating about the whole vegan thing really is that they don't just have their beliefs and leave everyone alone to have their own beliefs about food, It's like I don't believe animals should be killed, so everyone else should believe that as well, Like it's just like if that's your thought pattern, that's great. Stick with it, but don't kind of put that on everyone else. Yeah. So that's I was talking about vegans last night with a guest, and so that's my continued rant.
And I'm not going to even chime in on that because if I get started, we're going to run out of time.
Does oxidize mean turns rancid?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's covered, most things you don't notice that they're oxidized. Like almost all seed oils are already oxidized when you pour them out of the jug. But because they've been bleached and washed and deodorized, you don't notice it. But yes, that's why if you listen to anybody that knows about this stuff, Dr. Barry, Professor K, and you can just go down the list of all of them, they don't recommend, like buying fish oil in a capsule. If you want omega 3s, just eat some fish.
Mm-hmm. Raw carnivore. Not for me, but I know a lot of people who do it. How about you, Bob?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. I see no reason to do it. As a species, we've been cooking our meat over an open fire for millennia. So,
yeah,
I do just fine. Dave seems to do just fine. There's nothing wrong with raw carnivore, especially if you know where your food is coming from and you happen to like raw beef. Go right ahead. Not for me. And unless you actually like it, there's no real reason to do it.
I would like to try it one day for a period of time just to see what the difference is. But I just don't know that I can trust like the meat from the local supermarket,
Yeah, that's just it,
Yeah. But
sorry about that, if you go outside and butcher your own cow, I see no reason not to try it.
Yeah. Like, because when you cook, there's going to be like, for example, vitamin C is affected by heat and that kind of thing, right? So if you're having, I just like to, because I've heard people say that they feel so much better doing it. So I'd like to try it, but yeah, I need to be able to trust where the meat's coming from. Yeah. Brooks, I had some friends who went completely raw vegan and went completely mad. They lost all sense of reason. I have no idea what they're doing now. Wow. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, I wonder if people notice, like when the food you're eating is affecting you like that, like mentally. Are people aware of it, or they're just so blinded by this is the best way to eat? Everyone tells me this is the best way to eat, so I'm just going to do it. It always, yeah, that always makes me wonder. Jumping a question in there. Yeah, oh, here it is. Would you ever eat raw liver? Yeah, but I would probably eat it the way I've heard other people talk about eating raw liver. They cut it into very, very small pieces, and then they freeze it, and then they eat it like that. I think I'd do it like that. I don't think I'd sit there with a raw bit of, because I don't think liver looks pleasant, to be honest. It's not sitting there winning beauty contests, that's never going to get first prize in Miss Beef 2025, but yeah.
Allow me to be perfectly clear about my thoughts on liver, just in case it wasn't clear before. I would rather be beaten in the face with a brick than be forced to eat raw liver.
Okay, I think that's that one's very clear. Very clear picture. Okay, any questions here? Have I missed something? Maybe, I don't think so.
Yeah, I see a few other people have started. Lambs is here,
G'day, lambs.
and Anthony says he's going to try that freezing thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had quite a few guests tell me they do it that way, but yeah. What's this? I've got some organic liver pemmican, which I use as seasoning. It's got a very strong taste.
I can see that.
Yeah. Ah, see, that doesn't sound too bad. Mix small bits of liver with bacon and cook. Yeah, that sounds all right. Because bacon makes everything. Bacon makes Brussels sprouts taste good, right? So
Bacon is the duct tape of food. Bacon makes anything better. I mean, when I was learning to cook, and it hasn't been that long ago, but when I was learning to cook, the gal who was helping me out said, "You're going to cook stuff that doesn't come out right, and it doesn't taste good." And she said, "The way to fix something that doesn't come out right is add equal parts bacon and cheese till you can eat it."
right. CB Genesis, what does liver taste like to you? I It's like, for me, it's more about the texture than the taste, honestly.
Oh,
And for me, the texture is powdery. It's got this weird kind of, it's nothing like eating beef. Yeah, I mean, it's got a slightly, it's got a beefy taste, but it, like, texture-wise, it's nothing like eating beef. And yeah, for me, it's powder is the best way I can describe it. Although it's not powder, but it's just after you start chewing it, it's got that kind of. I think it's maybe I feel like it's like powder because it kind of, in some ways, dries your mouth out when you're eating it. I'm not sure. Okay. There's a lot of liver discussion today. How did this happen?
I don't know, but here we are. Welcome to the National Liver Network.
The NLN. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm just going through, and it's my dog loves liver too. Wow. Okay. So here's a non-liver comment. Love butter. Yep, I can get behind that 100%.
I can get behind that 100%.
Okay, Bob. Question from Alan. What's your favorite carnivore meal when you're on the road and away from home?
Same as it always is, because, well, part of my name is off-grid carnivore. Even when I go on a trip, if I'm driving, I have a refrigerator with me. And when I'm going somewhere, I usually cook up enough beef patties to get me through the trip. And I throw those in the fridge, and I just eat cold meat cookies right out of the fridge. If I'm traveling somewhere without my car, like the last time I went to Ohio, my sister had a bunch of bacon and eggs and ground beef in her fridge for me while she was out of town. And that's what I just eat. I've never, on those occasions, I just don't eat while I travel. If I got a long day at the airport, flying to wherever, I'll eat before I leave and then eat the next day too.
So I'm going to say, I'm not sure it's my favorite carnivore meal, but easiest carnivore meal when you're on the road is quarter pounder patties. It's just simple. No matter where I am, I can go into McDonald's and just get something that, is going to work and it's going to fill me up because it's got a lot of saturated fat. Lamb says, it's a metallic taste in liver that puts me off. Yeah, that's right. It does have a metallic taste. Yeah. So good point. Okay. Feral Grandma. Bob, would there be any problem sending you something in the mail to the publicly available address for Putting Plus?
No, there is not. Or if you send me an email, Wendy, I would happily just give you my address. I'm not going to say it over the air, but send me a quick email and I would happily give you my real address.
And from Bell, if you slice pork liver very thinly and flash fry with fish sauce and ginger, it's great, not powdery at all. Oh, nice. Alan says, yeah, I got a Macca's too, Dave. Yeah. Okay. John Kelly, I recently included probiotics into my carnivore diet. Any opinion on probiotic tablets? I don't take anything like that, so I don't have an opinion on it. Bob, how about you?
As I understand it, and I remember, John, I'm just a retired truck driver. I'm not a doctor. I don't play one on TV, but many of the people that I follow feel that probiotics are a waste of money. Your gut microbiome will adjust to what you are eating. And eventually, after you've been eating the things that you should be eating long enough, the bacteria in your gut that likes what you're eating will thrive, and the bacteria that need the other things like carbs will slowly die off. But that being said, if you feel like you feel better because you're doing those, then by all means continue. That's one of the things. I don't put a lot of faith in them, but it's the whole thing that we do here in Carnivore all the time. We do our own N=1 experiment to see how we feel doing whatever it is we're doing. So if you believe they're helping you, then by all means continue.
Right. Okay. So it looks like we got through all the questions, and we got through a lot of questions about liver. I think we've answered every question that's ever been asked about liver today.
Yeah, in 2 weeks, we're going to have to make the title of this video anything you want to talk about except liver.
Yeah. Anti-liver episode. But guys, thank you so much for joining us, for all your questions and chats, and really appreciate you being here. And we will be back with you in 2 weeks' time. So thank you very much. And Bob.
Yeah, thanks for being here. This is one of my favorite hours every 2 weeks to come in here and just talk with you guys and chat with Dave and all that. But always remember, folks, get out there, be 1% better. Today, tomorrow, every day.